You're listening to Hotepish with your host, Dwan B. Intelligent ish talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
We are here live. Hotepish, intelligent-ish talk. Intelligent shit talk. Where we balance the profound with the profane. Information and solutions. All the good stuff. Thank y'all for joining us today. I am here live with my special guest. I'm not going to spend too much time running my mouth because he got somewhere to go. And I can't take his time all day. We are here live with my man, King Simon. How you doing today, my brother?
My brother, I'm well, brother. How's everybody's out there? Thank you very much for inviting me to Hotepish. Very interesting name. Very interesting name. Even the numbers connected to those names are very interesting.
Is numbers connected to it? Well, of course it is.
Remember, brother Dwayne. Remember, in numerology, that's the only system that transposes letters into numbers. It's not just about counting the letters in your name. It's that, like your first name, D. That D stands for number 4 in 2 systems of numerology. That W stands for the number 5 in one system of numerology, and then the number 6 in another system of numerology. That's when I look at the 2 dynamics, you find that so it's not just Dwayne is D 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's each letter has a number that it represents in numerology.
See, that's what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't know, King Simon is a world-renowned numerologist. He has a book. He has his own approach to numerology called Numerovation.
Yes, sir.
And he has a book that I've already read. I read this book about a year ago, and it's helped get my game tight when it came to numerology. Numbers are simple. People are complicated. See, look, I ain't even need no notes for that, people. That's proof that I read the man's book. We are talking to the man when it comes to what numerology is, how it works, how it functions, and how to use it on your daily life. Personal, full disclosure, I've had readings from King Simon long before this. I've had 2, and on the 2 that I've had, I'm telling you, man, it was just like, I was like, how this brother know I was doing this and into that and had this in my mind? And he's like, it's in the numbers. And I'm like, it must be, because I didn't tell you that. I didn't tell you I was into this. I didn't tell you I was thinking that. So that's who we have. So I had to get him on the show to talk to everybody. Like I say, we are here for the open-minded. We're here for those who want to learn. And we're also here for those who want their own experience. So after we have this show, when King's, first of all, his information's in the description bar right now. I have his link tree. It gets to all of everything you need for him. So I know y'all gonna want y'all readings. So that's what we here for. So when we done talking, y'all gonna contact this man and y'all gonna get a reading yourself. And then hit me back and tell me if I'm bullshitting or not.
You know, brother, again, I'm honored to be before your audience, man, and I respect what you're doing and how everybody that's doing something on a platform like YouTube or Skype or whatever. I love what we are doing, because we have to be creative, especially in the tipping age of misnomer Aquarius, because this is the age of technology. And this is what we're in as far as that age. Now, I'm not an astrologer or astrologist per se. I'm more numbers, but I do dabble in, and what I respect even about one of my teachers, Lloyd Strayhorn, he blended the best of 2 worlds, which is astrology and numerology. I created Numerovation because I'm blending the best of two different principles and two different disciplines, numerology and motivational speaking. Because I trained with Les Brown for a whole month back in 2005, and I've studied various motivational speakers all the way up to Neil, all the way up to Vincent Peale, all the way up to Dale Carnegie. I've studied those type of things. Even the late great Reverend Ike, I study him too, and then learn to implement it to help your numbers motivate you. Because my book, the new book, Numerovation for Mental Stability, is about recognizing the mental instability that you might have that might be attracted to you due to numbers, but learning to at least use this guide as a basic numerational guide to recognizing mental instability, not just in yourself, but in your family, in your loved ones, in your friends, even your enemies, why they are the way they are. Numbers can help give you guidance. And I want to let everyone know that numbers is our ancient science. We got to know that numbers, to build a pyramid, you have to have applied mathematics. To build any structure, you have to, and numerology simply means the study of numbers. So any form of any type of science that's connected to numbers in any way is applied mathematics or is numerology. That's what we got to always understand. That and I've read a lot of European books on numerology, and the older numerologists always take you back to Egypt or India, to the darker hue countries and the darker hue places. So if that's the case, and the unabridged books that I've read over the years is saying this, then common sense is saying that, wait a minute, if this is where it originated, then what are y'all doing? Why are you, and you got your biases out there. There's people that don't only want to mention Pythagoras, but they won't talk about his history of traveling for 22 years amongst us, the darker hued people, the India, the Africa and all that, getting that knowledge, then coming back, becoming the father of mathematics or the father of numbers. How that happened? Then you come back, then we got to really restudy, research, and reassess what to put us back into history in its proper form. And that's where I'm coming from wholeheartedly, so people can be guided to be their best. It's not here to control you. Astrology, numerology, none of that stuff is here to control you. It's here to give you guidance. It's here to make you aware of the pitfalls you can take. And some people just want to live and don't even want to care about that. And I got that, but it doesn't take away that these things still work behind the scenes. We always say that when the moon comes closer to the planet, or when it appears to come closer to the planet, the waves of the water start coming. And I've been at the beach during a full moon time and seen the waves coming. I've seen it. I studied patterns. I studied measurable patterns. I studied things that are repeatable. That's what a scientist do. And then that's what, if I'm seeing that in front of me while I'm at the beach. We was at the beach during the full moon, and we couldn't get in the water because the lifeguard was telling us, nah, you can't do that because the tides are high. The tides is high during the full moon, heavy. So obviously this effect that the planets have, and planets and telemetry and all that stuff is connected to numbers. And all of the great scientists, all of the great European scientists too, and the black ones like Neil deGrasse Tyson always said that the universe is a grand mathematical book. If we're on Earth in the universe, we are a part of this mathematics. We just better get it straight and know our mathematics. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm keeping it simple. I'm just keeping it simple.
Flat out.
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that too. Hey, because it's like, what if we knew as children when we took math class that one, math was ours, two, each number that we're using, 1, 2, 3, 1 through 9, has a vibration, a high and a low.
Yes.
What if we understood that at the age of 5 and 6? And yes, a 5 and 6-year-old can understand that. They're smart enough to understand that.
That's right.
How much different of an approach, how much better we would be as math as a people? You know what I mean? If we understood that was our stuff.
Of course. Think about it. Because the great builders of the pyramids, it all over from Kemet all the way down Sudan to Ethiopia. Let's be real. It's all there. That's the mother of Kemet, Ethiopia. So once you know that history, as according to Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark, and various other great doctors that I've known and have met personally, excuse me one second, I dropped something that I met personally, but these people that were building at that time were basically young, good guys that was instructed by old elders or people that may have been in their 40s or 30s, but they were younger people that was, so they had to understand mathematics, geometry, algebra, all of that stuff. So they understood this. And I remember listening to Robert Kiyosaki, the guy who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and he had a guy on there talking about where the zero came from, and they said it came from India. First of all, India came from out of us. They was connected to us, and we got to recognize that whole energy. And you would not be able to build what they build in Kemet or different places if they didn't understand the dynamics of the zero. Matter of fact, one of the symbols of the universe is always a round circle, probably with a dot in it. Certain places might have a dot and it might just have a round circle, but that zero represents that womb, that round circle, that void that all numbers came out of, and 9 represents the completion of those numbers, just in a numerology perspective. Yes. But we got to always be willing to research. That's why the most honorable Elijah Muhammad used to say, history is best rewarded, but best research. What's the quote that he used to say? History is best. I can't remember the quote, but I know it's about history. I don't know if you remember it, but Malcolm used to quote it all the time. Research, history is best rewarded. Forgive me, family, I forgot the quote. I've been doing so much stuff today, man. I've been doing so many things today, but it's a quote dealing with history and research. That's the principle of it. We have to research history so we can know what happened yesterday, so we can identify what we need to do moving forward into our life. And if our children study this, just like how Chinese people keep on pushing on their children to the point that right now the Asian countries are on top of the technological game. Everything we have made in China. It was below us at one time at certain things in America, as far as America concerned, America's market is concerned. Yes. But China is on top. With a superpower now, and Japanese stuff on top. You know, Japan owned the train stations in New York City, or their company built those train stations in New York City, and that's Mitsubishi. Yeah, we're not researching. I seen it on the train. Again, I'm doing case studies and research, and I look at the barcodes on the train because I'm researching. I like to study. I like to observe. I like to make, and that's part of my numbers too, but it's just what it is.
Yeah. But you're right about that. They're ahead of the curve when it comes to math. That's why I like the iPhones that they have in Japan. Like we have what they had 6 years ago.
Exactly.
And we don't understand that.
Exactly.
I want you to touch on something for the people out there who are just getting new to numerology. They want to know more about what it is. Numbers. Each number has a particular. How can I say this? 1 through 9. They have a particular value, a particular energy to them. Can you explain that in some kind of way? I don't know if that's a good question.
No, that's a good question. I mean, when it comes to the esoteric science and the metaphysics science of numerology, it's more of the interpretation. So each number has a high and low, positive and negative interpretation. What we might call positive, negative, some may call it high and low. I call it strengths and weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? So because what happens is in different cultures, in different spots, India and Chinese, I got books on Chinese numerology, Japanese numerology, Egyptian numerology. I got a book behind me called Egyptian numerology, written by a white woman, but again, they're telling you where they're finding this stuff from. And each number has an interpretation for the meaning to give everyone that's connected to a number that they was born on some guidance. That's what's important. Now, when it comes to vibrations and all that, now you're going towards what Pythagorean also taught about sound, yes. Vibration and light, which again came from ancient, because he's seen it happening in ancient Africa and Kemet and along the Indian routes also. He's seen that in his 22 years of study. One thing about what's so interesting about the Pythagoras is that he revealed the 9 in his system, 1 through 9. In the ancient system, we revered the 9, not revealed. the 9. We revered it because when 9 showed up in any kind of counseling, it's either going to bring universal love, peace, and happiness, or universal destruction, endings, completions. That's what the 9 represents on 2 different levels. So let's run down 1 through 9, basic one word meanings in numerology. Like the 1 represents leadership. On the negative of the 1 means indecisive. The 2.
Did we lose him?
Huh?
Oh, there you are. You cut out. You back.
Oh, yeah,
right when you went to 2.
What was I was up to? I was up to what number?
You had 2. It's freezing. It's freezing. It's freezing.
It wants to be destructive, or and then you got the 3 that deals with expansion and expression, and then the other side of the 3 is recklessness or scandals. One side of the 4 is building structure. The other side of the number 4 is undisciplined, unorganized.
Go back if you can. You went out at 2. You came back in at 3. We heard 3 and 4, but we missed 2.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we heard 3 and 4, but we missed 2.
Okay, y'all missed 2?
Yeah, that's the only one we missed.
Okay, 2 again deals with on the positive of the 2. I'm doing 1 or 2 words. Positive of the 2 is companionship and even intuitiveness. That's why I tell number 2s that they should always, people born on the 2nd, the 11th, or the 29th of the month, or the 20th of the month, they should always pay attention to their intuition and not second guess themselves. So the negative of being a number 2 is second guessing themselves, being indecisive. Okay. All right. Did y'all get that?
Gotcha.
Now you got 3. Y'all got 3 last time.
You got 3 and 4.
Get 3. You got 3 and 4. Now let's go to 5. 5 is known as the freedom-loving number, the versatility number, the adaptability number. But because they love their freedom, the negative of the number 5 don't realize sometimes that free ain't always free. Freedom ain't always free. So they will go down another reckless road, or they might go down the sexual active, overly sexual active, till it becomes abusive, the number 5 energy. Number 6 represents family and love and balance. So the other side of the 6 is being unbalanced, not wanting to deal with your family or not wanting to heal from whatever happened in the family. 7 deals with research, study, and also another number of insight. But on the other side of 7 can be annoyance, worrying, and all of that type of stuff that can, 4 and 7 can, both 4 and 7 can lead down the mental depressive way. And you always got to pay attention to those 4s and those 7 that pops up in your head or pops up in your cycle or your charts heavily, because during those cycles, it can be either depressive on a lower frequency or on a higher frequency. If you're able to handle that challenge, you'll always keep yourself on a higher level when you're dealing with a 4 and 7 cycle. So moving to the 8 now. 8 is known as an ancestral number in certain science of numerology, but also it's the money numbers, the executive number. And on the other side of the number 8, you can lose money because you wasn't disciplined enough to how to handle your money. On the and then the number 9 deals with completion or higher thought patterns and higher levels. But on the other side of the number 9 deals with fights and arguments and getting into confrontation. So those 2 things, and then 0. Anything that 0 follows add potential, whether it's extreme potential to the positive or the negative. Proof of this is like, okay, check this out. You and I may go to our bank account, and all of a sudden, you look in your bank account as, damn, I only got $10 in my bank account. That's 1 0. But if you go back the next day, you see 6 zeros behind it. It's like, whoa, there's the power and the depth of the 0 that adds to it. Yes. So people I've known and studied and researched that's been born on the 10th, 20th, or the 30th of the month, always gone through extremities, whether extremely positive or extremely negative. Look at Tiger Woods, born on the 30th of December. Look what he's just gone through. Yeah. Look at Rihanna in this year, what she's now taken her next product to another level of extreme success, being born on the 20th of February. Look at Daniel Pina, who is the billionaire maker. He's born August the 10th. I'm just showing you that these numbers can reflect the positive and negative. And do they both, all of them have their positive and negative? Of course. Do everybody else, everybody out there that's connected to those same numbers have the same possibilities, but sometimes that's why my book is called Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated.
Yeah.
Sometimes the complication comes from our family, how we was raised, what happened to us, our mommy, our daddy issues. All of that. But even LeBron James was born on the 30th, and he had mommy and daddy issues. Really, he had daddy issues. He didn't know his daddy that well, and it was in and out of his life. But he overcame that issue and promised himself that he would not be like his father, and actually went to connect with his wife and still been with his wife since high school up to this day. So you have the choices to make those positive moves, whether going the higher level or the lower level. Is totally up to the individual. I always tell people, you have your choices and your intent. Now, if some astrologers might say, no, really, you don't have a choice and all that. And look, that can be debatable. I've seen through watching and like I said, a real scientist look at what is measurable, what is repeatable, and what is observable over time. So in the last over 20 years of studying numbers and all this, I've seen these repeats over and over again, not only in my own family, but I've seen it in the sessions that I've done with people like yourself. I've seen it in the celebrity world, the scientific world, and other worlds. So it just proves what was going on, due to my research, and kept on studying. And I'm still learning, learning. Have to learn.
That's the thing about as I read, books on numerology. It looks like something that's a lifelong study. You never get to the end of it. It's like numbers. There's no last number. You know what I mean? You just go to the next set of digits. It's sort of like that. It keeps expanding in this thing.
Exactly. And that's why I don't like when people say that they got the complete guide to this. If this was a complete guide, the book would probably be this big, and then I'll have to write part 2 and part 3 and part 3. That there's no complete guide to an infinite numbers. Numbers are infinite. So if you, like I've said before in my live, I said, you can die and come back and still be counting. And come back, go die again, and still be counting. Go die a little bit more, and still be counting.
Yeah.
Go ahead, my brother. I'm sorry.
No, you're right about that. That's what, that's why, we here talking about this.
Yes.
What do you have to say? What do you say to someone who is fresh, who's either still in religion or fresh out of religion, and they're now curious and want to know more about numerology? What do you say to the virgin ear, the person that's only heard spookism or nothing at all? What do you say to them?
I say, of course, like I said in my book, have an open mind. Because most of us, when we hear the number 666, what we think of?
They think of death and destruction and
the devil and all that. They think the devil and all that stuff. But when they hear the number 7, because God rested on the 7th day, what they think of? God. See, people not thinking that even in biblical breakdowns, there's a connection to numbers. Matter of fact, the Bible got the book of Numbers. How does that work?
I didn't think about that.
God, nobody thinks about that. But the book of Numbers is dealing with a count of the people and giving order to Israel, because Numbers gives a guidance and an order and a count in this realm for us to follow and to navigate to be on a better footing. Mm-hmm. And I tell people that have a virgin ear that all of us right now, back in the day, we used to use the Rand McNally. We used to use Rand McNally to get from one place to another. Everybody got a GPS now.
Yeah.
Think about that. GPS, you put in the right address.
Yeah.
It triangulates what's going on in your area so you can get to where you got to go to. Whether you take the fast route or the long route or the short route, it's still, you had to put in the right address, the number, and the place you had to go. And even if you're just putting in the state, that each state, again, is connected to a number. Even if you look at it in another one of the Rand McNally's map, they give you numbers connected. They give you the longitude and the latitude, which is connected to numbers. Again, they're showing you this is it. So I tell people with that I said, try it, but remember, I tell people this is not for you to worship. I said, numerology or astrology does not take you away from your God. your religion, your Islam, your Christianity, your Judaism. It doesn't take you. Matter of fact, Judaism practices it through Kabbalah. Ancient Christians through the Gnostics used to practice it. The Muslims through Sufism practice it, understood number, but they don't worship it. They know that it's a part. Even in the Quran, it says over it is 19. What does over it is 19? Certain interpretations said it's 19 angels that's protecting the whole meaning of the Quran. 19 angels. Now, 1 and 9 represents Alpha and Omega to me when I see it in numbers. Mm-hmm. So I get you to that frequency of understanding the higher levels of the start and the beginning. When you see over it is 19, and without numbers, you wouldn't know the surahs, you wouldn't know the chapters, you wouldn't know how to quote. I'm going to Matthew 3:6. You got to know how that numbers bring a formation and an order for us to be guided to it or be guided by it. That's all I'm keeping on, the simplicity of it. I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's just nothing but like, hey, this is a number. Here you go, take it or leave it. But how you feel about it is irrelevant.
You know what happened one time? A person came to me and said, "Oh, that's of the devil." I said, "Who created the devil? And where did that knowledge come from that the devil had? You think that if the devil is created by God, who gave him that knowledge? Do you think all the angels know it then? Then it's your intentions. You could take it and use it for a negative way, or you could take it and use it for a positive way. I'm sure that those that came up with the Bible or the Quran and added numbers to it, they wanted to serve you as a positive means, not those that are going into deep, Aleister Crowley type rituals and stuff. Those are using it for their own negative way, where some might say there's a balance because all of us have positive and negative in us. It's just which one you want to take, which path you want to take. And when I do my numerovation session, I'm talking about my intentions, my heart. It's not how much I know, it's how much I care about the person that I'm dealing with so they can be better in what they do. So numerology or astrology can make you a better person in your Christian church, a better person in your Hebrew temple, a better person in your Muslim mosque to serve that community.
Dope. What do you say to people who, because people go around, and I called you about this before, we talked about this, I kept saying, I still do, number 1111. Some people, they may see number 322 or whatever. What do you say to people who keep seeing the same number over and over and over again?
That's good. I tell people all the time that when you constantly see numbers, it's usually sometimes they call it angel numbers. Some of them call it synchronicity numbers. Angel numbers are here to remind you of something you probably need to do or something that you pay attention to. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Okay.
That's something you need to pay attention to in that dispensation of time. So when somebody see 1111, and 1111 is a highly spiritual vortex, a doorway. But always remember, and I tell people, doorways go both ways. So if you're not living to the highest frequency or the highest possibility of that master number 11, which is the master number of insight, paying attention to people that might try to deceive you, or paying attention to your intuition. If you're not paying attention to it and you just let it fly, all of a sudden you just let it fly, boom, you get caught out there. That's because you didn't want to pay attention to it. So those numbers that keep on popping up on you is usually either related to the cycle that you might be in at that particular time. It might be connected to your birthday. It might be connected to the names that you have. It's just like in your name alone, you got 2 N's, right? In your name, Dwayne, right?
Yes.
In numerology, in the Chaldean, which is the older system out of the 2, and the Pythagorean, it both adds up to the 5. So that's double 5 that I see in your name already. So that tells me communication is one of your strengths.
My bachelor's is in communication studies.
Promotion is one of your strengths you need to stay on focus on. And because 5 adds up to a 10 that equals 1, you become a leader in those fields if you at least work towards it, because the 5 can be scattered. Like I said earlier, 5 can be scattered and all over the place, undisciplined. They want their freedom. But in the intern, I recognize the interpretation of numbers trying to give you guidance and show you. So if you keep on saying 5, it's telling you something. The positive and the negative. Don't be scattered. Don't be reckless with what you're doing and your moves. Freedom ain't always free, but learn to be able to adapt and be versatile so you can foster the best way you can live your freedoms on this world.
See, people, that shows you how much he said 5 is a communication. Look, my intuition, like, I went to college to major in business. Then I was film, then I was anthropology. But my instinct kept pushing me to communication studies. And then so out of instinct, I did it. Yes. And now my company, Breakthrough Advocacy Services, is what? My communication solutions. Literally all I do when I get offline, I'm not online, right. I go to families and I deal with relationships and I solve their communication problems. See?
Exactly. But even, there's 3 communicational numbers. The number 3, the number 4, and the number 5. They're right after each other, but they're all communication numbers at different levels. And usually in a chart, when I read a chart or break down a numeroscope, I find sometimes 5 is dominant, sometimes 3 is dominant, sometimes even 1 is dominant, but it's 3, 4, and 5. When I see a lot of 4s, that's when I say, okay, your communication has to be clear. Like the first letter in your name adds up to a number 4. Anything you do in communication, you have to make sure you dot every I and be very clear. Even in your texting and your email, that means you got to make sure you reread it before you send it out. You got to double check. People might misunderstand you, and you don't want misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying? That's what 4 is. That's the discipline of clear communication that the 4 is. The number 3 is the jovial and happy and the oratory skills of the number of that communication number. That's why people born on the 3 you find is great speakers and could speak for days. Dick Gregory was born on the 3. Yeah. Bill Cosby was born on the 3. Umar Johnson born on the 3. Young Pharaoh born under the 3. Pay attention to what I'm saying here. I'm studying patterns here. I'm studying Mike Tyson, born on the 3. And Mike can talk, even though he can't talk, he can talk.
His podcast is dope. Yeah.
he can talk.
He can talk.
But I love him.
Yeah. You touched on something, and I'm curious to go back to it. You said you charted out Hotepish, the numbers.
Yes, sir.
What did you find? I'm curious.
I wrote down what it was in the Pythagorean system. It adds up to 37, which is 10, which is a 1. So the 10 in tarot numerology represents the wheel of fortune. That even for good or evil, with that name, you'd still be a leader at what you do. But what's so interesting, when I read Hotepish in the Chaldean system, it adds up to the number 20. And 20 represents the awakening number. See how you're trying to awaken people to certain things? Awakening number, the judgment number, but it's a number that says it's some great purpose that something healing you're supposed to do with this channel. This is what you're supposed to do with it. Heal, and then the more you heal, because that's the ancient system of 20 that because it's under the ancient system of Chaldean, use that ancient thing of healing, and that's the number 2 is a relationship number. Healing and bringing balance. Hotep means peace, basically. Some people says brings you peace. Some people says is a piece of food that is handed to you. Some people, that's what, different dynamic, different parts of the Medu Neter, the people that are studying, like Brother Reggie or Infandishi, or those type of people that break down Dr. Raketi Amen. They'll tell you different aspects of this Hotep, because I guess North and South had like different translations for it. But it still says you're supposed to bring some type of peace and balance in order for you to be the leader in your field, especially using that name, Hotepish.
See, like, people, look, King Simon didn't know our last broadcast yesterday was on what? Relationships.
Oh, it was? I didn't know
that. So, on point again, like the name came, it just dropped in. My wife was like, boom. And it felt good. And then,
no. See what you just said? Your wife.
Yeah.
Relationship.
Yeah.
That too. It deals with relationship and companionship. That's what's important to know. So if your wife, that's the number 2 is and remember, each number has a gender. That number 2 is a feminine number. So you said your wife said the feminine energy, and you listened, and then you created, and that's what that is. That's how it works, bro. I tell people all the time, numbers don't lie. People lie to themselves.
See, and I got my biggest approval on the phone yesterday with Brother Kaba Kamade. I have him coming later on this month.
My brother, he born November 16th. My brother.
Yeah, I love Brother Copper. So we had a dope phone conversation on Monday, and and I was explaining to him why the name was chosen the way it is, Hotepish. It was really to take, there's a lot of media forces out there trying to dirty the name, and they're out there trying to say, okay, people who are into ancient Kemetic philosophy and ancient, we're just dirty, ashy Hoteps or whatever. That's what they were trying to say. So I said, okay, I'm not going to let them dirty this name that means peace. I'm going to embrace it, because the whole point of my show is to bring information that heals the community. That's the whole point of the show before I even created it. I said, I want to bring information, use my little jokes that I have to make it go down easy, and interview people that bring us information. And so that's why I labeled it that. So it's like, okay, if you're going to call us that, I'm going to embrace it full on in, and we're going to take it to the next level with it. And so when I got Brother Copper's blessing, that felt so damn good.
No, and I'm proud of you, man, because sometimes that's who you gotta consult. I consult Copper, I consult Ashra Kwesi, I consult Professor James Smoke, I consult all those are my consultants. Mm-hmm. And if you don't respect the elders enough to turn, and you can turn anything from positive to negative. I mean, people actually hate on me because I smile too much. Okay, I'm 54 years old with all my teeth. I should be happy.
Yes.
I personally should be happy. You know what I'm saying? So and looking younger than some of my own children, and I got 9 of them.
Oh wow!
So, and 10 grandchildren. So people don't realize how important it is just to sit before Dr. Ben and me meeting Dr. Clark. Now, the person you spoke to have sat at their feet. I got to meet and shake their hands or watch them in the lecture, but they sat at their feet to learn. And that is a blessing. And for you to put the spin on Hotep-ish, because I even looked at the word ish, and what's so funny about just the word ish alone, in both systems, it adds up to the number 9, where in one side of it, we know that it's a vernacular where ish can be something else, but on one side of the word ish, it can be a higher thought pattern, taking people to higher heights. But on the other side, it can be an argumentative. It can lead to arguments. It can lead to destruction of things. That's why when somebody, yo man, ish that man, or kiss my, they can use ish under any little pretense if they want to. You know what I'm saying? We know ish. Off that ish. Be that ish. We know what it means, just to make it a little cleaner. We'll say, but that word, because of the 9 vibration, can go high or low, and it could get into even killing somebody, because 9 is a number of war. That's why it's connected to the Mars energy in planetary connections. It's connected to war. It can go there. Now, are you going to have war with yourself to heal yourself, or are you going to have war against somebody outside of yourself? It's totally up to you with that 9 energy.
see that's how dope. And I hope for those listening who are newer to numerology, you're starting to see how simple this is. It's not like he's coming in and saying, I have said this and it's coming to me from the planet Megatron, and Megatropolis says you're going to be in communication. It's just like numbers. 2 and 2 is 4.
That's it. Study, research. But in like Noble Drew Ali, born January the 8th, he said, study, study, study. And then after you finish studying, study yourself. My primary study first in the study of numerology was me as a young guy at 14 years old, getting the 5% knowledge, but yet starting to implement it and studying the family around me and studying the connection. I found people in my family that took their own life. Then I studied their numbers. I found people that went to mental facilities. I studied their numbers. Then I started seeing the patterns of it. Because, like I said earlier, a true scientist will study the patterns, the sequences, and watch the repeatable patterns, watch the measurable patterns, observe the patterns, and then it become a teachable thing. Because now you've seen all of this for the last 10 years or a couple months. That's what scientists do. They go into these things and they study and they watch the patterns of our community. Black folks are the most studied. And they know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Black folks are the most studied in any history. They used to put our women on top of tables and study them because they know who we are. So brothers and sisters out there, don't be afraid of those great modalities that are ours. A lot of people like to call it New Age, New Age. That New Age concept came from H.B. Blavatsky, came from her, who was a friend of Aleister Crowley and all the rest of those people. They was telling you it's coming from Egypt, ancient age. It's not New Age.
Mm-hmm.
They
Old
just
school.
named it new. If you go in the back of my new book, Numerovation for Mental Stability, I got in the back on the top, it says Numerovation, self-help, ancient age. I do not claim New Age.
Mm-hmm.
I can't claim New Age. Not if they keep on, not if these old numerologists from 1800s like this guy, this white guy from the 18 and 1900s keep on saying it's going. Let me read something to y'all. They keep on saying it's going. This is what he says in this book. He says, universally, he says, where's that first part and always in the beginning of the book. I like to read, but I tell people I can show you better. I can tell you. He says in this book of Numbers, written by Kiro or sometimes Shiro, he says this ancient people together, the Chaldeans and Egyptians, were the absolute masters of the occult or hidden meanings of numbers in their application in time and in their relation to human life. I ain't got nowhere else to go other than let's go to Egypt. Let's go to Kemet. Let's go to the Chaldeans who was as dark as me. I'm not playing with these people no more. Y'all not going to tell me it's white knowledge.
Hey.
It's not white knowledge. Let's go there. Let's go there.
Let's go all the way there, you know? I want to, because I want to know people to understand how dope you are. If you don't mind, do you mind if I give 3 birthdays? Get 3 birthdays and you just...
Oh, sure.
3 or 4? Sure. Okay, put y'all birthdays in the chat. I'm going to start out with one. August 9th, 1981.
August 9th?
1981. Yes.
1981, right?
81, yes, 81.
Okay, August 9th, 1981. Okay, first of all, with that particular person, they're an old soul. And because they have the 9 energy, the 9, and when I say old soul, their life path is a 17, which is an 8. And then that's what we call the alignment number. So anything that person do, remember I do numerovation, anything that person do, they have to stay creative in what they do. They have to be assertive in what they do. And they have to have a spiritual base with it because that's the 7. And that will lead them to galvanizing generational wealth. The number 9 says they say what they mean and mean what they say. So if you want the truth from people, if you want to find out the truth about anything that you're doing, always ask a person that's born under the number 9, the 18th, or the 27th of the month. Because one thing they don't like to lie about certain things. They'll say what they mean, and what, like Dr. Africa was born on the 27th of the month. Say what he means and what he says. Who else is born on the 9th? The guy who wrote Islam and Christianity, Walter Williams, is born August 9th. He says what he means and what he means and what he says. Also, Baba Heru is born August 9th. Say what he means and what he says. Because they're old, it's just that the vibration of the 9 has to be straight up and straight to the point. And that's why they're so powerful. And I would suggest to them, anything they do, they got to finish what they start. Don't second guess themselves. Just keep on finishing, because not only do they have the leader Leo energy, just make sure that if it's good for you and good for your family, finish it, because you're supposed to leave this great legacy one day if you choose to do so. It's up to you. Go ahead, next.
That's dope. The next one I have here is January 4th, 1983.
January 4th, 1983?
Yes.
Now, they're born the same day as Benjamin Rush, who was the founding father of psychology. Notice that I said earlier, number 4 is one of the mental numbers. It's in my book that there's no other mental numbers. So people born on that number 4 or January the 4th has to learn to be adaptable in what they do, but also protect their mind, because they stay in their head a lot. They got to get out of their head. Now that you add the 1983 to it, that's 1 plus 4 plus 1983. That equals 1988. So that just goes to tell me again, this old soul energy is there. But in order for them to accomplish greater goals for themselves, they have to be willing to be disciplined, organized, time management. And one thing about number 4 is they're very meticulous. So if they left their phone someplace, one place or another, they guarantee them, say, if somebody moved their phone, they'll come back and say, wait a minute, somebody moved my phone, because their mind is already set in what they've done, because they're very meticulous. But they always have to maintain some form of discipline, not just for the job that they're doing, but for themselves, because that discipline is required for them too, in order for them to leave the legacy that they're supposed to leave, because they are an old soul also. And when you have old soul energy, like the previous one and this one, always think like Sankofa. Look to the past and move forward into the future. Always think like that. Numerovation. Go ahead. Next.
That's dope. I have another one here. 11/25/68.
11/25/1968?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's interesting. My brother's born 11/25. Woo, he had a rocky, crazy road back in the day. But 25 is a number of observation and listening. They're very intuitive people. More than likely, the person born on this number was either person born under this number, when they went against their gut feelings, that's when they messed up, because that number is of observation and listening more than you talk. Because you pick up on people's energy right quickly, you know that, and plus your Sagittarius energy, so you know what that means. Y'all could be something else. And because your alignment numbers are 36, which is a 9, anything that you download, all the insight that you download, you need to initiate them, finish them, and they will do well in spiritual metaphysics teachings, metaphysics learning. They'll do well at doing that if they got into that. And because they're born 1968, I'm doing all different dynamics of it now. Because they're born 1968, that adds up to 2004. That means they love family, but there's certain things that they had to heal from their family, whether it's father or mother issues, or whether it's some male or female that has hurt them in the family. They have to resolve that and heal from that. But they're very loving people. They really are loving and caring people, but they have to resolve from whatever happened in the past.
Gotcha.
If I make sense. I hope I'm making sense.
I bet you are. The people so far are saying you are. So one more. I'm doing person put it up twice. 1/2/1978.
1/2?
Yeah, January 2nd, 1978.
Okay, 1970. Okay, they born the same day as Tay Diggs and what's his face? Tay Diggs, and they call him Butt Naked in Hollywood. Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh yeah.
They call him Bucket Naked, which is hilarious to me. Because sometimes too, especially if it's a female or male, if it's a male, they need appreciation. They need to be appreciated at least twice a day. With women now, they need to be shown love or given hugs twice a day. But one thing about the number 2s, because y'all are very sensitive, y'all need to maintain balance. And more than likely, with the alignment number being your 3, writing your thoughts and having a journal is very important, and staying jovial and happy, and don't let your emotion take you all the time. Anybody that deal with that number 2 has to realize that they have to be sensitive. Sometimes they got to work with them with a kid glove sometimes, because they need that. Because that person is born in 1978, you said their birthday was?
1978.
Yeah, 1978. I want to give them the life path like I did everybody else. Their life path adds up to, let me see, that's 10, 18, 19, adds up to a number 1. Now, through help and guidance and healing other people, you will be number 1 in that field if you got into doing relationship help, helpful relationships, or healthy products if you decided, because your life path is a 1. So you're definitely supposed to be a leader in something that you do, because your personality is a number 2 that deals with compassion, balance, healing, helping, guiding, and paying attention to your intuition, because your intuition is on fleek. And I will tell that person, and the person born on the 25th that we just had, please purchase a book called dodging energy vampires, because y'all got to be very careful of energy drainers and energy vampires. This book is called Dodging Energy Vampires, and I recommend it to a lot of people, but especially people born under those sensitive numbers like the 2 and the 7, or connected to the 2 to the 7, like their life path could be a 25 or a 7. The life path could be. Always be very mindful of people that come there to drain your energy. That's one thing I tell them about themselves. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. King Simon has to leave in a few minutes, so I'm going to take one more.
Okay.
Maybe 2, but one more. I'm going to do this one, 2/19/1992.
2/19/19. They born the same day as Smokey Robinson. Okay, and that's interesting. You should be writing your ass off right now. But 2 + 19 = 21. Now, 21 in numerology, in tarot numerology, although it adds up to a 3, 21 deals with the crown of the Magi energy. It's called the number of the universe. So, in other words, you're able to take nothing and turn them into something if you put your mind to it. See, what made Smokey Robinson so powerful is because he was able to create through his authorship of most of the music that he wrote for Motown. And he was working with Barry Gordy, who was born November the 28th, the same day as Bobby Hammett. You know what I'm saying? They was able to produce something. So people born on that number are not only leaders in their craft, but they have to be willing to use their writing, their music, their expression, whatever they need to do to express themselves to become that leader. And because he's born in 1992, that equals a 2013, and that's a number 6. Again, that deals with healing, that deals with help, that deals with whatever you do, you need to help people. Even the other person that had the 6 life path, whatever you do, it has to be of help. Sometimes you give people the benefit of the doubt, but the healing begins with you first. And then you invite others to your love, to guidance through your love. And that's how it will work for y'all. So anything you do that's why Smokey has been so successful, just dealing with his writing. But because you're born under another year that adds up to this number 6 energy, you have to help, heal, and guide people because you have a lot of healing numbers around you.
See, that's dope. This is King Simon, y'all. Y'all know he got his own YouTube channel. I don't want to hold him too long because he has a meeting to get to.
Yes.
How do they contact you? First of all, I have all of his contact in the description bar, but for those driving in the truck right now that they can't read the description bar, how can they contact you?
You know what's so good? They could text me if they want to do a session with me. They could text me at my business number is 347-496-1022. I'll say it slower. 347-496-1022. Remember, I do the names, I do the birthday, I give you cycles for the next years if you want. I deal with health if you want to go down the health route. I deal with those things. And if you live outside of the United States, please text me over WhatsApp. It's free. I can't text you back if you live in England or Africa or Canada. You got to text me through WhatsApp, which is free. But if you live in the United States, all 52, whatever states, how many they got, Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands and Hawaii, also, you can text me direct. But if you live in Canada, the Caribbean, if you live in Africa, if you live in England, you got to use WhatsApp, and then we can set up an appointment and make the time and all that kind of stuff. And remember, my YouTube channel is King Simon Presents. That's one of them, King Simon Presents. And the other one is called the Numerovation Nation. The Numerovation, as stated on this book, the Numerovation Nation. That's the Numerovation Nation. And you can get on my link tree, you can get all my books and stuff on my link tree that I have thus far. And you can get my website and all that on my link tree, which is linktree/King Simon the Numerovator, which is in the description of this interview right now. And tonight I'll have Dr. Ali Muhammad and Liana, Sister Liana Hina. We're going to be talking about Healing Thyself, their new book that I have in my background over here, the new book that they got. So we're going to be speaking with them about health and all that. So tonight we're going to have a good time. Happy Women's History Month to all your beautiful sisters and your wife, my brother.
I appreciate that. And then check out his interview with Shahrazad Ali from last week. It was a dope interview. And the one he had with her a few months ago. Both of them were dope.
Yes, sir.
Shahrazad, check out that interview and go to his channel, please. I thank you again, King Simon, for coming on. I appreciate you, and we love you.
Appreciate you, my brother. Keep on doing what you're doing, man. You're doing it on high levels, baby.
That's right, man. Thank you. I appreciate you, man.
All right, peace, brother. Thank you.
All right. The rest of y'all stick around. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep talking. We're going to keep talking. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. I got this up from yesterday. Let me take that down. me take this Meghan Markle shit down. Yeah, thank y'all for staying. We gonna keep talking, but we will take a 1 minute break. I got the UPS man at my door, y'all. Let me go and answer this shit, then I'll be right back. Stay, don't go nowhere. Alright, yeah, I got him. We back. Yeah, I was King Simon. Got some of my drum equipment. Been laying down these sample packs in the studio. I don't know when these hoes gonna be available to sell. Y'all asking me. I'm still working with the engineer and getting all my samples and shit. They will be available for sale soon. There we go. Here it is. King Simon Presents. There he is. Text me. Y'all see his thing. His I have it up here. King Simon's phone number. Text him. And when you text him your full name and date of birth. He gonna hit you back with more information, then schedule your appointment time. I'm telling you right now, his readings are on point. But when you read his book, Numbers are Simple, People Are Complicated, it really breaks down really what it is, you know what I mean? Because, you know, one thing about math is one, and numbers, math and numbers are exactamundo. Numbers are exact, always. And, you know, math is an exact science. So it makes sense that each number has a certain meaning to it or a certain expression to it. That only makes sense. So yeah, I thank y'all for joining. I appreciate that, Raven. I'm always gonna kick the real on this channel. We don't get the real shit on TV, goddammit. We have to come here online to get it. You feel me? They're not gonna give us the real on NBC, CBS. Yeah, like math is one of those things. Math is exact. I thank you, Star. Thank you, JR. Thank everybody out here. Kevin Bryant, Bosa Queenie. Yeah. And y'all know we gonna have Brother Kaba Kamene on here end of the month. This coming Friday, we're gonna be talking about the let me see here. We're gonna be talking about, you know, safety and firearm safety. You know, how to defend yourself in situations. We see what's going on politically in the Joe Biden era. These racist white supremacists have not stopped their BS. The police continue their BS. So it's best that we understand our legal response, our legal rights, and how to use what's legally on the table for us to use as a people to defend ourselves from people that decide they want to start some shit. So yes, we will be having someone on Saturday to talk about that. I appreciate that, Staggers. Yeah, but I want y'all to please hit up King Simon for a reading. And when he hits you back with how much it costs, that ain't shit. All right, don't trip on that. Don't trip on that at all. It's more than worth anything that you'd use for that same amount of money. I promise you. Because I'm still applying things that we talked about in my first reading 2 years ago. It made me understand certain things about myself. You know, like you said today, the 2 N's in my name. We didn't even talk about that in my reading. He gave me some new shit that we didn't cover in 2 different readings. The 5 and the 5, communication. Hell, he didn't know my bachelor's degrees in communication studies from California State University, Northridge, class of 2005. Hell yeah, he didn't know. Like I didn't tell him anything about my relationship coaching business, communication solutions, breakthrough advocacy services. Y'all see the website right here. I need to show him this website. Look, family communication support, individual support. It's just, hey, if the numbers say it, then whatever people feel about it, look, the numbers wasn't bullshitting on this one. No, they weren't. That's right, Kenneth Berry, Matadors. Cal State Northridge, we had the stupidest ass. What do you call that mascot? I know a matador is some dude dodging a bull, but that's weak. Matador, come on, Cal. That's why I didn't go to no California State University, nothing. I didn't go to not one of their basketball games. Back when Title IX hit in the 90s, that school stopped football and replaced it with like women's archery or some shit. Star said he was spot on. I appreciate that. Buick. Yeah, we got to provide. Look, we got to be the Underground Railroad of information. You know what I mean? They're not gonna give it to us, and I ain't tripping. They not supposed to give it to us. I always ask people, when did the war Europe set on America and those who were here on America, Africa, and the rest of the world, when did that war stop? We all know when it started, 1492. We all know then. We all know that date. We all know 1619. We know 1526. But don't none of them dates have a dash completion date. Like the Civil War was 1860 to 1864, or 1861 to 1865, whatever. Operation Desert Storm was 1991 or 92, some shit like that. The Afghanistan war is still going on. The second Iraqi war is still going on. Vietnam ended, what, 72, 74? The War of 1812. All these wars, World War I, World War II, they all got end dates. What's the end date? The end date for the war Europe set on us? So if there's no end date, what does that tell you? There was a quote. I forgot who said this. I really want, this is not my quote. I want to give it proper credit. Was it Dr. John Henry Clark? Don't quote me, but this is my quote. I think it was Dr. Clark. It could have been someone else. But they basically said Europeans are always at war. I think it was Dr. John Henry Clark. And he said the times that they call peace are merely the times they have just gone back to re-strategize their necks attacked. In other words, even in the times they're not dropping bombs on your ass, they just using that time to figure out how they can kill you a different way. But again, like I said, I'm not mad at them because I don't take it personal. Honestly, I don't take it personal. When you study the history of Europe, that's the history Europe had on other Europeans. You know what I mean? It's the reason why they never have no. You ever ask yourself why don't they ever have National Geographic do these yearly profiles on the Caucasus Mountains? They never want to take you up in them caves, do they? They'll take you to Zimbabwe. They'll take you under the Mediterranean. They'll take you to Mars. They'll to Pluto. But they'll never take you to Europe in the year 912. You'll never hear shit about Germany in the year 600. Germany, Norway in the year 700 BC. You never hear Caucasus Mountains 6500 BC. Why don't the people who tell you everything about everybody, why don't they tell you about themselves? Have you ever seen a Smithsonian 10-part series on the 200 Years' War? On the Huns, the barbarians, the Vandals, the Visigoths, the Franks? Do they bombard you with information on their shit? No. Because the history of Europe and the history of the people of the Caucasoid Mountains is a history of war. All they do is talk shit and kill people and eat raw meat. That's all they do. That's what they do to each other. Slav. What are the Slavic nations? Eastern fucking Europe. That's what a Slav is. That's why Tyson Fury ain't shit. Cheating. I knew he was a cheater. But they're coming for them Slavs. For them gypsies. Bands of thugs. When it comes to them against us. But when we ain't around, man, these are the biggest thugs. It was a documentary in Europe on the BBC on Daniel Kinahan, Tyson Fury's boxing advisor. And it's talking about the murderous history of his organization. I think MKG or something like that. Look it up on YouTube. It's like an hour long. You want to see some thug shit, look that up. I remember this once. This is the story from when I used to drive Uber. This is how cold white folks are with each other when we not around. When I was driving Uber, I remember I was doing some drop-offs in Manhattan Beach. For those of you who don't know, Manhattan Beach, Southern California, just south of LAX airport. When you take off from LAX, look to your left, look down, you'll see this big ass sanitation center where all the shit in the city go to before they push it out into the ocean. That's El Segundo. El Segundo ain't shit. And then right next to that, you'll see Manhattan Beach. the most professional athletes per capita of any city in the world. Manhattan Beach is one of those liberal places. They stole land from the brother Bruce's. As a matter of fact, LA is talking about giving Bruce Beach back to the black family who that land was stolen from in the year, I think, 1924. The black folks set up in Manhattan Beach, had their own shit, had their own development, and then they came in, eminent domain, and kicked all those black people off that land. It's called Bruce's Beach. Look it up. Well, anyway, liberal Manhattan Beach is one of those places that, since it ain't no black people around, all they do is create laws to fuck each other up. Like, you can't smoke cigarettes in public in Manhattan Beach. And they've been having that rule for like 10 years now. You can't park you can't paint your house but a certain color in Manhattan Beach. You can't have more than a certain amount of guests at your house in Manhattan Beach. All these motherfuckers do is sit on the city council and create laws to fuck each other over. So I'm driving Uber, and these two white dudes are in my back seat, and they're talking about this other white dude's house. I guess he has like the biggest house in Manhattan Beach. And in Manhattan Beach, a lot of the houses, they're on the water and everything, but there's some houses that are kind of tucked away in the back, behind a bunch of trees and shrubbery and shit. So apparently, this guy has like this huge house behind all this shrubbery. From the streets, you can only see so much. But once you get inside, it's a really big lot of land. And so the guy that was riding with him asked him, he said, why would it be a problem if the rest of the neighbors knew what he had? The guy said, if that guy invited his neighbors over and other people in Manhattan Beach knew he had that much land, they would go back to the city council and create an ordinance making it illegal to own that much land, which would then force the person to sell the property and divide, then give the city, and then divide the property up so someone else can have a piece of that land. And I was thinking, God damn, that's low. Black folks, we would never even conceive to do no shit like that. A nigga may hate and be like, who the fuck that nigga think he is with that big ass house and those 3 Cadillacs? And we gonna stop it at that. This motherfucker was like, no. They'll go to the city council and make it illegal to own that much land. That's how these motherfuckers are with each other. Black people have to understand, since we're under their rule at this time and place in history, we're living their story. We're not living our story. We're victims of their story. And people say, well, you're playing the victim card. Well, yeah, we are. God damn it. Did we create these laws making all this unjust shit? Matter of fact, the only laws that give people any kind of rights in this country were the laws that we pushed for and fought for. You feel me? That's why I don't take racism personal. I don't take it personal. It's their story that they're imposing onto us. Our job is to figure out how to fuck their story off and create our realities. Because we can't create our realities on an individual level. Our job is on a group level. How do we imprint our reality to where it's the dominant in society? That's our job to figure out, not theirs. They're not going to give it to us. The Anglos and the Saxons, that motherfucking Prince Harry's people, they fought long and hard. They've been fighting wars for thousands of years to get in their position. They done killed millions upon millions of white folks in all those wars that they've had in Europe for their supremacy. They ain't giving us shit. We gotta take it. Charlie P said, if I was white, I'd be racist as fuck. Yeah. So we don't need to take it serious. It's on us to figure it out. You're right, Kevin. It can be difficult sometimes, but you got to separate yourself from the information. That's why, like me personally, I told y'all before, I'm personally on a news hiatus. I'm not listening to any news. I may scan and see some things in the headlines when I'm going through Twitter, but I'm not watching any, listening or watching any news until next week. Next week I'll get back into watching some, because we got to remember the information that we get. All these things are true. Yes, they are true, but also it's true. What's true is what's going on in your life and your ability to paint your life however you see fit. Gotta remember that. That is within our power to create our own reality. And the numbers help. Like what King Simon was talking about. He was talking about the numbers. Numbers definitely help. Because, like, look, what if I knew, see, I got my major communication studies. That major came on me really following my intuition for real. I mean, up until the point to where, like, the semester before I graduated, I was thinking, like, man, I really should have finished with my cultural anthropology or sociology. But I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and go through with it. If I understood numerology when I was 18, 19, making those decisions, it just would have backed up and confirmed my instinct that I already had. You know what I mean? So we do things instinctively, and when you follow your instincts, usually you're right. Well, all the time you're right. But when it comes to this numerology thing, it kind of brings sense, and it makes sense as far as things that you instinctively do. I don't know if I'm making sense to y'all, but it makes sense. Things that you instinctively like, instinctively run towards, when you start to understand the numbers behind it, it starts to really make sense. Let me see, Jonathan F. I'm black becoming the new white. I gotta watch 85 South Show. I never watched that. They seem like the dudes from the show seem hella cool. I don't really know them like that. You know, they was on Wild 'N Out, but I don't watch anything on TV. I keep hearing about the 85 South Show. I gotta watch them. But no, I don't want black to be the new white. What the fuck? We don't need to be black. We just need to be black. We don't need to be. They're the new. No, there are students with the. I don't even like that wording. I'm not talking about you, brother, the way you worded it. I'm just talking about black being the new white. You're right. It's all confirmation through numbers. But as far as black being the new white, no. We just got to get back to our stuff. Y'all heard what King Simon says. Look, man, the numbers go back. You don't build pyramids. You don't build Emotep step pyramid without pi. You dig what I'm saying? We don't have to be no new white. We have to get back into who we are. And who we are always shines out through our culture. It always shines out through the way we act, through the way we talk, through the way we walk. We can't help it. We create dope genres of music on accident. When Charlie Parker brought in bebop jazz and left Kansas City and went to New York and brought in bebop along with Dizzy Gillespie, those were the rejects. Because that was a swing era when everyone had a big band and everyone wore these nice clothes and they was swinging and everything. Doop-de-doop-de-doop-de-doop-de-doop. Then here come Charlie Parker with that hard Russian sound. him. Then he met Dizzy Gillespie. All the old black folks was like, what's that bebop, doopity wop? Real music is swing. Louis Armstrong, man. They was shitting on them. Charlie Parker was just having fun. Just through having fun, they created a genre called bebop, which evolved into hard bop with John Coltrane. And that avant-garde era of jazz, which was never the most popular music, is the underlying of hip-hop. We create whole cultures not through trying to be the new white. We create whole new cultures and sounds just by being the original us. Because bebop, jazz, and hip-hop is the same shit. Go back and listen to bebop. When y'all talk about freestyling, that's bebop. The swing era had charted out progressions. They even had charted out solos, stuff that was written out. Bebop said, man, fuck all that. I'm about to play what I feel. Ain't that hip hop? Ain't that freestyling? Bebop had what's called cutting contests. In hip hop, it's called battle rap, where the person on piano is battling other people on piano and battling the horn player and battling the saxophone player, playing notes and riffs until the other can't keep up anymore. Ain't that battle rap? I'm pointing this out for one reason. Black people don't, when it comes to racism, again, I talk about racism on this show. But the whole point of talking about it is for the solutions. Racism ain't some juggernaut we can't beat. We just got to stand up and be ourselves. We don't need to be anybody else. We don't need to acquiesce to anyone else. We don't need to listen to what other people are doing. We need to listen to our internal guide and our internal spirit and have the courage to live that feeling. King Simon gave you guys some good paths and good thoughts about your numbers. For those of you who didn't get it, please call him and get it, because through the numbers you will see a path. That path is going to be unique to you. I promise you. Like trust me. Trust me. If you fuck with me, I'm not saying this, I'm saying it because hell yeah, I want to see King Simon do great. I want to see that man flourish because he's helped me out so much and he's helped the world. But I want you to do this shit for you. I want you to do it for you. For those, because if you already got your shit figured out, you know where you're going, you got it, boom, go, no reason to call them, you're good. But I'm talking about those who are at a fork in the road, or you're at a job, but you know with some other shit that you got cracking, you just don't quite know what the fuck it is. Or you know what it is, you don't quite know how to get it going. Or you know how to get it going, but you stuck and don't know where to start. We all know what I'm talking about. When you get the reading, the numbers are going to say things that correlate to things already going on inside of you. And through that, you'll know what to do. The question is, do you have the courage to get up and do that? That's the difference between those who use numerology correctly, or astrology, or astronomy, or whatever, or if you go to a psychic, whatever you into. Because they all lead back to you. Do you follow through with it, or is it just porn, information porn? Because that's what we don't want. A lot of times we turn this stuff into information porn. I get this in my chat room. You know, because when I interview people, I interview for a reason, to construct. But sometimes not so much in the live chat room, but in the comments after the show or in my email, I'll get, you need to talk to that person. You need to talk to that person. And I'll be thinking like, that's cool, but why? If someone gives you information, it's more on you to, if you like the information that person is giving you, my first question to you is, have you applied anything that they said? Or are you just listening for entertainment? Because it's not, I don't really like to jabble back. You know, it's cool to have entertainment. Entertainment has its place. But within any kind of entertainment, I like information and solutions. That's why I say this shit on the show. Information and solutions. And sometimes you can't get as much information and solutions just by two dudes running their mouth back and forth. If it's not a clearly defined purpose for having that conversation, what's the point of having it? So my question be like, when you listen to me, when you listen to people, are you taking what's being said and using it for your greatest good? And if you are, hell yeah, more power to you, nigga. But if it's just information porn, then what's the point? Might as well turn on CNN. So yeah, I do encourage you guys to listen and go and watch King Simon. But I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. Remember this. I got my website. It's still being worked on. Almost ready. Got a few more things to go. My GOAT program, Get Off Your Ass Today. Self-motivation and workshop. Y'all saw King Simon. He said I'm good at relationships. In the numbers, he didn't even know I did this. The numbers be telling. My book coming out very soon. No time to waste. Almost done being edited. Sample packs coming out soon. I got a lot of dope shit, man. I'm busy as hell. That's why who else to write a book on self-motivation than somebody that got all the shit cracking that I got cracking? You dig? Who better than to show you than somebody who's doing it, right? Who better to show you and have a relationship coaching session with than someone who's happily married and can tell you how I do it? Not somebody who's, look, everybody, look, it ain't nothing wrong to listening to somebody who's not married, who has their own thing. Everybody has their own place. So I am not here to shit on what anybody else does. I'm just here to give my point of view. My point of view comes from someone who's had success with what I'm preaching. I'm practicing what I'm preaching. You don't see my ass opening up a health food clinic. You feel me? You don't see me opening up. Now, if you saw me opening up, nigga, okay, I'm going to be your next personal trainer and get you a pack of 6-pack abs. And I got this big ass keg walking around on my belly. We'd have a problem, wouldn't we? We'd have a problem, for real. But yeah, all that good shit's coming. Fuck with me. My name is Dwan B. Remember that? Oh yeah, go to the website. People been saying they're gonna get a shirt. Stop saying you're gonna get one and get one. Now. Charlie P said, how long have I been married? How long have y'all been together? Married, coming up on 7 years. Been together damn near, over 17 years. Been friends since we were 13. So yeah, I'm a nigga that knows how to keep a woman who knows me for real from day one. I met my wife when I was in a 7th grade, middle school. Hell, I'm still close with my friends that I met when I was 3. I just have a good sense of how to choose friends and how to keep them around. I have business partners I've been knowing for a long time, and I'm just overall I have dope relationships with people, and I notice a lot of people have struggles in relationships, and not to judge those that have struggles, but the struggles generally lie in the communication. The communication is where people have issues in their interpersonal relationships, whether it be with their spouse, their children, their friends, their cousins, their co-workers. Communication is central to a productive, constructive relationship. And since I'm dope at communication, why the fuck not put on workshop and help niggas? Now the workshops ain't gonna be free. They gonna cost. They ain't gonna cost much. They gonna cost less than you taking somebody out to dinner, far less than that. But if you can get some information that changes a few things, just a very few things in how you communicate, which is going to result in more fruitful, better relationships, why not spend those couple ducats from an expert? So yeah, that's coming soon. And remember this, my name is Dwan B. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up game. My name is Dwan B. We out.